Hey guys, back again. Another video. Oh, I didn't even. Back again. Another charting session. It's been, I believe, 4 days since the last charting session, and things have been looking pretty good so far. Um, yes. First thing I see, just like how we drew it up last time, it made a nice bounce from this area. It wasn't perfect, like how I said last time. But remember, but let's take a look at it now. It didn't reject. So last time when I said yes, anything below this demand is going to be a short. So as you can see, let's go on a smaller time frame. So as we can see here, price rejected, yes, but it recovered. So um, let's see. How do we identify the reversal? So first things first, where are we? Or where were we? So we were in demand. What happened every time we touched this area? Bounced up, bounce, 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 bounce. And once again, bounced up. So how can we confirm it? Or how do we know there's going to be some type of reversal? So just like how we said, first thing, first thing is that we're already at a demand zone. So basically a point of interest of buying. And not only that, we see that price did reject. However, it did not break pre-market low or close below pre-market low, and it ended up breaking out of demand, breaking upwards from this little zone right here that I drew. And then to confirm the reversal, we see right there the retest of that break of this little level or the retest of support, and we see continuation. So what I mean by that is we see the breakout right here, test, continuation. What do we see the next day or today? We see that pop to the upside. So, which indicates that we are officially trending or should be trending upwards now. Can this fail? Yeah. It can probably hit this area right here and then go right back down and then start trending downwards again. Or it can make like that pullback, whatever, blah, blah, retracement, and then shoot right back down. Will it happen? I don't know. Um, so let's taking a look at this. So we are currently on pre-market, right below pre-market of Thursday's price, Thursday's pre-market. So right here, take a look right there, follow my cursor. So once we break above that, I would say if we can break above this level, if we can reclaim, I would target this high right here. So let me show you guys what I mean. So price is currently sitting right below that. Let's edit this green just so we know green means break above. And then right here it would be my target right there. That's my target. Anything above is a trail. So let's make it green. Okay, right there's my target. So yeah, I'm looking maybe entries again right there, or that would be my dip buy. Or once it breaks this right here, once it breaks that level, that's where you'd want to get in. And then I would say maybe trail. Um, but it just depends how the market opens tomorrow. So if it opens above this green line, I would say I'd probably get in right at the open or right at pre-market low. However, if it does continue to trade below this green line, I would probably want to wait. So yeah, there's that. So let's look at NQ. Same thing for NQ, most likely. Yep, same exact thing. So if you kind of just compare them, it's basically literally the same exact thing. We're sitting right below previous pre-market. Let's look at YM. These are probably going to be different. Yes, they are. This a little different. This one's a little more flat, so we're probably going to see a base, a little bit of a base, not really, kind of. So I would say Oh my gosh, I'm choking on my own saliva. um, break of that entries for longs. Um, let's see. What do we see? Okay, nothing much. But same thing. We touched support, and now hey, no. Sorry guys, that's my dog. Um, so yeah. Once the break, so it's basically kind of similar to ES and NQ, except not really. It's similar in a way, but at the same time, it's not really similar. What I mean by that is if you look at the other ones that we were looking at, they basically had a very similar setup. This one kind of has a similar setup, just the layout kind of. Um, but yeah, it's pretty similar, but at the same time, it's not. I can't really make too much sense on that. So there's that. So what's next? So yeah, I would want to see a break of that. As we can see here, we're still trading right below this, so we get little rejections from this area. However, if price can um come above pre-market or intraday, I'm looking to get in on this, and TP's right there. So let me just mark that down for next time. So, boom, boom. There we go. So now that's marked. Now let's go to RTY. RTY, basically same setup. If anything, this one is probably leading the way. Let's look at, yeah. So RTY is the strong one. Personally, I probably wouldn't get in on this just because it already ran up. The other ones are definitely a lot better, but yeah, you can technically still get in on this. Just me personally, I don't like to get it when it's already at the top. So just looking at YM, ES, and NQ, they haven't even broken out yet, and this one already broke out. So there's no point in taking this trade unless you get on that test, on that retest. I would say maybe right there, if it retests that area, or if it touches that area, that would probably be my entry. But at the same time, there's no need for to trade this. It could be pretty risky. Sometimes it might not go your way. Sometimes it will. But right there, good entry. So we'll see. Oh, and then TP. Um, let's see. Maybe I would say right there. That's a good spot. Let's just take a look at the 4 hour just so we can really get familiar with it. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair take profit. Right here. That's your take profit. Edit. So let's edit the screen. Boom, right there. Next. So let's see what's next. Oil. Oh, oops. Okay. Nothing much for oil. I to be honest, I kind of forgot what we said about this. But yeah, nothing much for oil. I wouldn't trade this. To be honest, I never really trade oil. I probably only traded oil a couple times, but I just don't like the movements of oil. Um, so yeah, there's that. Gold, we got a gap up in pre-market. Uh, let's see, there was a nice base. So yeah. So that's good. That was a good let's take this off. This was a good chart, or was maybe not really anymore, but yeah, I wouldn't get in on this. It already went up. Gapped up. I wouldn't touch this at all. How long? I don't know. I wouldn't even say maybe get in on the retest there. It probably will retest there, but just overall, I wouldn't get in on this. I'd stick with ES and YM if you're trading futures. So yeah, now let's get into stocks. So for my options traders, let's take a look at this. So we see XLK technology sector. It broke below that support, and then reclaimed it. Now I'm just looking for a retest back on that white level. So let's go intradays. So yeah, it's basically I bet you these technology ones all bounced at demand, and if they haven't, they most likely will. And we're about to go over all of those right now. So yeah, we see ExoCare had the similar setup as NQ and ES. It broke below demand or my support level or demand level, whatever you want to think of it as. And then reclaimed, broke above. Now we're just waiting for that test. Technically, I would kind of say this is probably your test, but I'd probably want another test just to confirm, or at least wait until tomorrow, just because today was that breakout, or not really a breakout, but a bounce support from that support demand. And so I'm looking for some kind of test. So let's keep it moving. CRM, not looking too good. It's still rejecting underneath that demand. Um, I probably wouldn't touch this just because there's still a lot of selling pressure. However, here, let me hide this real quick. Can I even hide this? Okay, I guess we'll just take a look at it like that. So, um, as we can see, it's still kind of rejecting from that area right here. I would say any pop above that, I'd get in, and then right there would probably be my TP, or not probably, it would be my TP. And if you really want to get in on that dip buy, my dip buy would just be right here, that 222, and then take it up all the way to pre-market high. So dip buy right here. Here, let me use the other dip buy right there. Make it green just to signal what I mean. Oops. And then take profit right here, just pre-market high. It also depends on where it opens at as well. Um, so yeah, I can't really say give out perfect examples or perfect levels just because pre-market hasn't really settled in. But that's my ideal play. So let's move on to the next one. Let's go on to Microsoft. This one's still trending downwards. It already broke below demand. So the only thing I would see for a reversal if it can just reclaim its high, stop making lower lows. So far for Microsoft, yeah, I would say still probably shorts. Just from this area. It's still too risky to go for longs. So right here, this is a point of interest of selling. A lot of selling pressure here, lots of rejection. So if you just follow that line right there, there's multiple rejections. So I'm looking for shorts. So yeah, and it also depends on how the market goes tomorrow as well. So as you can see already, Microsoft is already going down. It's trending downward still. It hasn't shown any sign of strength, even though the futures that it follows has strength and reclaimed their um, demand areas and support areas. This one is still trending downwards. So, what I mean by that is if the market pushes up strong tomorrow, what I mean by that, ES and NQ, if they push up strong tomorrow, then we can probably see Microsoft break out of that red line right there, out of previous resistance. But if tomorrow's price of tomorrow ES and NQ can't or doesn't have the strength to keep going up and it goes down, then Microsoft is going to have a big red candle tomorrow. So that's my thoughts for tomorrow. As we can see Thursday, oh look at Thursday. This is perfect. Last time I believe this is Thursday, so I believe that we called it out that something around this area would be what's it called? It would be a short. And as we can see here, we get a short, and then we also mark this level as well for our next day um, entry for shorts, and this played out perfect. We're on what, Tuesday, Monday? Yeah, we're on Monday. So yeah, this played out perfectly. So as you can see here, where our lines pre-market was still under yesterday's prices below in between these lines, and then at the open it just rejected, and then yeah, that was perfect trade. And where do you want your exit? Right there, 473, 478 to 473. That's a pretty nice move. So yeah, there's that. Let's move on. Microsoft. Now let's go to Apple. Whoops. Apple. Okay. So Apple was pretty strong today. So Apple can might be some type of reversal. So let's extend this because this looks like still a valid line. Maybe we can push this up just a little higher. Right there. So look how everything kind of just corresponds within each other. So once again, Apple looks like it's trying to reject from that level. So my thoughts for this one would probably be maybe some type of test right here, and then another bounce up. But I wouldn't touch this one. It's still a little too risky. We see it already broke out of this, but there's still a lot of this, and it rejected from that high. So I would say where my cursor is, if you follow the lines, I would say this would probably be your base between right here and right here. So technically it hasn't really broken out of anything, but if you just kind of split the base into smaller ones to not confuse yourself, right here would probably be an intraday base, but on the bigger picture, it's right there. So I wouldn't touch this. So let's move on to Google. Whoops. Google, same thing. Wouldn't touch it at all. To be honest, I'm not too sure what we said about Google. I believe we said, yeah. To be honest, I can't really say any. I don't remember what I said about Google. But most likely, I mean, this level is here for a reason. So obviously, it retested this over pre-market, and then shot right back up. So, and as you can see now, it's still running up. So yeah, this one is very strong. I wouldn't get in on this just because they made a whole move already. So yeah, I wouldn't touch this at all. But that's a nice move by Google. Oracle, I believe Oracle went. Okay, no, it went down. So as we can see here, this was our final demand area, and it closed below, and with signs of rejection. But we did have buying pressure right here in this area. So let's go intraday. So I would say anything above this would be a long. Let's just look at that. It also depends on how pre-market is and how it settles. So I would say if it stays under here, under this green line, it's probably most likely gonna shoot downwards or maybe have some dip levels. But this could be a trade to the downside. We're already trending downwards a lot. But the futures are did bounce up. But yeah. So I would say anything below that is a short, but you kind of just want to follow pre-market levels. So just like how we said in the last couple videos, you want to follow the path. So if it rejects from here, that's your short, and if it breaks from there, that's your short as well. If it breaks above this, that's your long. But remember, as soon as you see a break, you want to get in and out. So let's just say price breaks out of this level, you just want to target that. Just a quick one. And why do I say that? Is because it hasn't confirmed anything. This can just make a wick up and then just shoot right back down, or this can just make a small wick like that and then shoot right back down. And so, what I mean is that there's multiple ways of trading it. So, there's you can trade the breakout, but you want to get in and out. So let's just say right there, nice entry. Maybe $20 or something. I don't know how much that would be. And then if it goes up, okay, cool. You wait for that pullback to confirm that test, and then you just let it ride the whole way until I would say maybe right here. So 202 to 211, perfect. Or right here, and then once it hits TP, just trail it, and then after that, once it stops you out, you're already positive, so you can't complain about that. So let's take a look at what's next. This is Netflix, NFLX. Okay, so Netflix it basically went below demand, tested, and then rejected. I would say this still might be a long this could be a long play. I probably wouldn't touch this just because there's not enough confirmation for me yet. Um, but it did reject. So this could probably start shooting down, but it's kind of weird how there was a very big wick from here. I would say if it couldn't break above pre-market, then I would say 100% a short. But this looks like it can reverse. We just won't know until tomorrow. But personally, I wouldn't enter on this. So yeah. But right here, with this 107 level, I would say right there is probably the sign of reversal. If we can get a break of this level, let's just mark it down for the next time we start charting. Okay, so anything above that is a long, anything below is a short. So let's move to the next one. Let's go to Meta. Okay, Meta's a nice one. Whoops. So Meta, this is a good one, really good. As we can see here, just like how we drew it out last time, once it breaks that, if it can break that, it's going to go long, and that's exactly what it did today. So this was 100% a perfect setup. This was very beautiful. Um, so what I'm looking for next is a retest to confirm the uptrend. So yeah, mm, I would say it's too early to tell. Just because there's a lot of levels that it can bounce up from. Um, but it could bounce up from here or from right here. Um, and we just don't know. Or it can just not even test these and then just keep going up. So personally, I wouldn't get in on this. It's already too late for this unless it hits one of those levels to confirm the uptrend. So let's move on to the next one. Let's go to IBM. Let's see. Okay, me personally, I wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't even say this is worth looking at. Um, yeah, I guess right here a test. I guess we can go kind of just like right there. Yeah. So I would say a test there for the uptrend. So we see already it was building up pressure in this area. So we had uh previous bounce and then rejection from there, rejection, and then today broke above. So tomorrow I'm looking for a possible retest and then continuation. So, oh my gosh, my bad, guys. So Amazon's a nice one. First of all, let's look at the 4 hour. Okay, so it was in demand previously, and it looks like it can possibly be trending upwards. So I would say this is a nice one to trade. So looking at this, I would say anything above that, depending on pre-market, would be a long. Most likely, I would say a long. Um, so yeah, I would say once it breaks above that green, it's go for longs. But remember how I said, trail it for the breakout, long one for the retest. Okay, let's see what's next. Nvidia. Um, Nvidia, it's not looking too good. Unless we get a break of, I would say right here. So let's see. Let's mark this down. Already clicked. Okay, there you go. So any break from that level is a long. Anything below is a short. Just because we had rejection there, and then pre-market, it looks like it's still kind of rejecting. And then I would say once it breaks below pre-market, I would trail it for shorts. Yeah, I would probably trail it all the way to here, this 175, or probably not even 175. I'd just trail right out the gate, just because we're in we're in a demand level. I mean, yeah, we're in a support level, but it looks like it can fail. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll see tomorrow. But that's my game plan for that. Let's look at TSM. TSM, no move. Move already happened. Not too sure what we said for this one, to be honest. Most likely probably said a bounce from here or a short from here. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't touch this at all. Move already happened. So, let's go to the next one. AMD. AMD still below, so still below demand or support. Hasn't reclaimed yet. Um, yeah, right there. I probably wouldn't touch this one as well. Just because it's a little too risky for me. I guess maybe right here. Um, maybe longs if it can hold above pre-market low so far. But personally, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd touch this. There's better names out there. QCOM. Okay, now this is a good one. Um, QCOM's a nice one. So we see there was that trend line. It broke, bounced, and then it failed. However, recently price has reclaimed that so far, and it tested and it shot up. The only thing is that it is going right back down. So this could be a possibility where it goes for another short. But if anything, I would say it's probably gonna bounce off this green line right here. So I would say my entry right there for longs. Um, so yeah, I would say right here for longs, once it touches that, and then right there is your stop loss. So from 163.30 all the way to 162.58. So it's not even a dollar. So I would say this is a good entry for longs. Let's look at the next one. MU. Okay, MU, it's starting to trend upwards. It's trying to reclaim that pink level that we drew last time. So these previous bounce levels, it looks like it can possibly reclaim that level. The only thing is it is a little risky still, but this name is very strong. It is a little risky to go in for longs, but I'd probably for me to enter in for longs, I'd probably wait until it breaks above that, above this pink level, and then for the retest, and then that's my entry. So we could possibly be seeing that tomorrow. um, so yeah, that's my game plan. Let's move on. ABGO. Wow, what happened here? That is a crazy wick. Nothing much to be honest for this one. It ran up a ton. I probably wouldn't even get in on this at all for longs, just because look at this. Like it went 347 and closed at 380, basically. Or not 380, sorry, at 377.5. It already went up a ton in just one day. I would want to see some type of cool off, and not only that, we're near all time high, or I think that's all time highs. Yeah, we're near all time highs again, so I wouldn't touch this. So remember, guys, don't touch things when they're near all time highs. It's not worth it. I'd rather pick a name that's all the way at the bottom. So most likely, I would say this could probably reject. Why do I say that? I know some of you guys might be confused, like, what the hell? Why do you think it's gonna reject? Um, like this thing looks like it had a nice big candle intraday. So why would it sell? The reason for that is because price gets exhausted sometimes. When you go out for a run, or are you not gonna get tired? So you can just run forever without stopping, without taking a break. Like no, it doesn't work like that. The market is the same way. If it moves up a lot, it's gonna tire itself out and it's going to pull back. So like for here, it's near all time highs. I bet you it's probably gonna touch this level, maybe trade a little bit above it. But eventually, I would say 100% it's gonna reject from there, just because it went up a ton today. Like look at every other day, like 337 to 350, not even a $20 move. And then look at this, for example, like look at this, 341 all the way to 362, a $21 move, and then the next day it just rejects. And then what happened 2 days later? Up again, and most likely near all time highs, it's probably going to reject. So yeah. So just like how I said, don't buy things when they're at the top. If you want to buy something at the top, you want to short it. Um, so yeah, let's move on to the next one. AVGO, XLV, new sector, health sector. So I believe for this one we said this was in a base, and once it breaks out of that base, you're gonna want to enter. So for this one, I believe we said our buy-in is right here. But if it rejects here, then short it, blah, blah, blah. As we can see on Thursday, yeah, it rejected from this level. Um, oh, you know what? I think I don't remember if we saw this already on Thursday. Think I think we did. Yeah, okay, yeah. So we see right here. I ended up bouncing from, I believe, let's take a look intraday because okay, so there was no structure here. To be honest, I probably wouldn't get in on this, just because, like how I said, my entry for longs is always going to be at the bottom, never at the top. So just because it broke out of this right here, I wouldn't enter just because, I mean, unless it tested this. As we can see, it never touched this area again. It just went up. It did a small pullback all the way up here and then went up. Um, so yeah, like I said, I probably wouldn't get in on this just because it went up a lot. It went up what, 151, 153, yeah, about $2. Went up about $2 or almost $2, and then ended up going up, small pullback at the top. So yeah, not enough confirmation for me. And either way, just kind of look at this whole entire thing. It's already went up a lot. Um, so yeah. How do we trade this for tomorrow? Let's see. Not enough structure for me, to be honest. At least yet. I would. The only thing I can say is break below pre-market, short it. Anything above pre-market high, long it. So yeah, and we see a nice doji right here, so that can signal for possible rejection from that area again. So let's look at something else. Let's look at Johnson and Johnson. Same thing, basically kind of similar to J&J. Right here is probably that test level. So if you just follow the cursor, this was resistance and then turned into support really quick. And this was also pre-market low where it bounced up. And yeah, personally, I once again I wouldn't get in on this. Look at it; it's gone up a lot already. This could be a sign for possible shorts though. Where we were trending up, but it failed to make a higher high. I mean, technically, it hasn't really formed yet. Kinda actually, yeah. Like I said, it's not enough structure for me to really confirm it yet. But I would say there's a possible short here. So below pre-market, short it. Anything above, long. Um, let's look at Pfizer PFE. Um, okay, basically same thing. Once again, I wouldn't touch it. It's in a little base right here, this area. Lots of rejection from here, from this top. So once again, I wouldn't touch it. Let's just look at the 15-minute. So look, little too weird, little too much. So I wouldn't touch this. UNH is next. UNH. Whoops. UNH. Okay, this is a good one. So let's look at the 4 hour. So taking a look at UNH, let's delete this. We don't need this anymore. Taking a look at UNH, this is previous bounce level, and then turn. I wouldn't say turn into resistance because it never rejected from there. So this was previous support, still support actually. Sorry, and yeah. So I believe last time when we looked at this, we said this right here, anything above that is a long, anything below is a short. So as we can see, intraday on Friday, it just blew well above, and then blew well above this as well, which is the support that it had before it fell below. And it looks like it tested and tested. So what I'm looking for tomorrow is a possible bounce at this level. So if it opens around this level, guess what? I'm in right here, 317, 317.5, stop loss, 317, 50 cents for this entire move right here. So that would be that. That would be my entry. So I would say this is a pretty good one for tomorrow. And not only that, it reclaimed it. I mean, it tested, but it was trending down still. So this one is pretty risky. But I do really like this one. This is a really nice name. But it just depends on how pre-market is. Pre-market is very important. Next sector, XLF. XLF, what do we see here? So we see previous bounce level turned resistance for a little bit and then reclaimed, and it's still holding well above. Just like I always said, I don't like to touch sectors, but I do like to look at them because they can be pretty important most times, or if not all the time. But right here, looks like it's rejecting a lot from this area, Anything below that is a short. Anything above is a long. So let's just mark this down. Most likely, yeah, to be honest, I can't really give my thoughts on where it's going to go. If anything, maybe a long, just because this turned into supply or resistance and then broke above and held above. So maybe I would say a long. But who knows? Maybe it might not happen tomorrow. Let's look at the next one. XLF, JPM, okay. JPM. That's doing that same bullshit again. Once again, we can't really look at this. I don't know why this platform is like that. Okay. Right here. Anything above that line, let's draw it out just to right there. Anything above this is a long. Anything below is a short. So on this one, I'm pretty neutral. I wouldn't say that I'm leaning more towards one side, just because it's reclaimed and it's showing strength. So yeah, I would say this. I don't know. This is a tough one too. Just because there's not enough structure. But we see here, this could possibly be good for longs. I would probably say longs, and this would be my dip buy, this green level. So let's go on to the next one. JPM, Bank of America. Same thing. It's doing the same dumb thing. Trending upwards. Maybe the 4 hour will look different. No. Okay, let's. Yeah. I really can't give my thoughts on this. It's really hard. I don't know why this platform is like that. Um, sucks. Maybe if I do. Yeah. I can't get my thoughts. I don't know why it's doing that. Goldman Sachs. Still under its support level or resistance. Yeah, this is resistance. So personally, I probably still wouldn't touch this. But I would say maybe it could be time for longs. But just once it breaks that 800 level, and wait for that retest. All right, let's look at something else. Um, Visa. Nothing much. I would say it's still underneath support, right there, support, or you can say right there, um, or right there. That can be good. Anything below 331 is a short. Anything above is a long. So right there. So well, perfect level right here actually too. So I would say I'm probably leaning more towards shorts. So if we look at Friday's closed from the 14, it's rejected multiple times from there. So anything above is a long, anything below is a short. But it looks like it already tested and then rejected again. So I'm most likely looking for a short. However, it still depends on pre-market. So yeah, I would still say it's probably gonna reject. All right, so let's look at something else. Let's look at Mastercard. Mastercard's probably gonna have the same thing. Um, kinda, a little similar. Not really. Rejection from there. All the way from the back, all the way over right here. So let's say once again, anything above is a long, anything below is a short, but I would say it's most likely gonna be a short. So yeah. Let's look at Jets. Jets, same thing. I don't really like to trade this at all. Um, so yeah, nothing much going on. I don't really see much. LUV, nothing much. Yeah, nothing much. It is building up pressure here though. Once again, anything above is long, anything below is a short. But nothing that good. It's not worth trading. Wouldn't touch it. DAL, same thing. And I would say it's in no man's land right now. Yeah, you're at resistance, so this could be a short, but I mean, just look at everything else. It can short from here, from here. I would say right here would probably be my short, the 62.5. But as so far, I would say we're still in a base form. So yeah, let's look at something else. Look at Boeing. Boeing still trending downwards. I believe this one was also a good one as well. I believe we said um, yeah, anything, yeah. Just kind of trade, follow the path, trade pre-market. But I would say this is probably a long. Let's just look at the higher interval. Let's look at the daily. Let's take a look from here. So if we follow your cursor, go all the way back into where it says October, right here. Take a look at that, and then look at today's price. So last time I hit that area, it's bounced. Um, so maybe we can start looking for some type of long there. Let's look at the weekly. Maybe the weekly will tell us something else. So yeah, it's closer. So if you just kind of take a look um, at that same area, it's bounced. So we can possibly see some type of bounce from that area. Um, Not only that, it's showing some buying pressure. It's not showing selling pressure like that anymore, like that. And it did show some selling pressure Friday, but it reclaimed and it started trading above pre-market. And it closed in between pre-market low and high. So once again, I would say this one is a little tough. It did break below pre-market low, and it did reject off of it. So this could be a short, but I would say this could be time for a long. But I would say a long is the more risky play. Um, but yeah, same thing. Go based off pre-market levels. But I would say eventually it's going to bounce. It will break above this level. It might not happen tomorrow or this week, but it will bounce above that right there pretty soon, I would say. And if not, short it from here, from this 177. Let's look at something else. UAL. UAL probably wouldn't, or actually, no, this is a good one. This is a pretty good chart. Yeah. It's just a little risky still, just because it already went well above. It already, yeah, it went up a lot today. But I would say go off the pre-market level. Um, so I would say anything above this is a long. So yeah, so maybe we can open up right above. Maybe we can open up there or not. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I would say maybe it could be time for a breakout. As we can see here, it's just been trading below, rejecting. So this can be a short still. But yeah, I would say probably it's time for longs. XLE, the energy sector. Um, I don't really remember what we said about XLE. Um, yeah, maybe some type of short. But personally, I still wouldn't get in on this, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Most likely all the other oil names probably are gonna be pretty similar. XOM. So I believe we said for XOM, short it once it goes below, it's trending downwards. Not only that, the sector doesn't help out as well. But there is some bounce there. But yeah. Um, Still, once again, I probably wouldn't touch it. Um, it it closed right here at previous bounces, so maybe tomorrow we can see a long position. And it'll probably most likely happen right over this line. So we can just kind of connect everything. I would say an entry for longs could be right here. But once again, it just depends on how pre-market settles. So yeah, so I would say if pre-market can hold above that, I would say longs. If not, short it. CVX. CVX. This one looks very weak. Okay, so we said so. I have this red line here just to help me, guide me, to what I said on the previous day. So this red tells me that we were looking for shorts. So as we can see, we did get it our way. So I rejected off pre-market. So I think we only saw until here because I recorded it Thursday. So as we can see here, we said anything below this is going to be a short, and it can possibly reject off pre-market. So as we can see, how do we trade this? Let's take a closer look. As we can see, it broke. So this can be your entry right here, or right here can be your entry actually. So just like how we said, once it breaks, you want to trail it. So let's just say you trail, and then right here all the way to 149.20 from 150. So about what, 80 cents around there. And then what happens next? You want to get in. Um, so let's say you missed that trade. Okay. Just like how we said, rejection, rejection, rejection. You can get in on this because it's a test. And not only that, right here too, if we follow it, that close on pre-market low. So that can be your entry for shorts. If you held it for a while, it obviously stopped you out if you stayed in it. Um, but that's why I said it. Things can go your way, things cannot go your way. That's just how the market is. Like remember, like how I said it. It literally tested it twice, rejected it 3 times. So that's a perfect signal for a short. But just once again, you're not gonna predict the market 100%. So you got to learn how to live with that if you're not used to that yet. So yeah, not only that, look at this. It rejected from pre-market high and never broke above. So this can be your entry as well. We got a doji here, doji there, rejection candle, rejection, rejection, and then another rejection. So we get multiple rejections and it can't even close near the pre-market high. And then that's your entry again. And I would probably take it for the long run, to be honest. And then as we look today, price once again shot all the way back down. So if you took the short all the way here, 151, took it all the way to 147, that's a good move. And then not only that, if you missed it, entry right there, and then an entry right there. And however, if pre-market can continue to settle and hold, or I mean, and settle under that red line, I'm still looking for shorts, and you can probably still take shorts as long as it trades below that red line. So that's the thing for tomorrow. Shell, probably won't be much for Shell. Like I said, I don't really trade Shell. I'm probably gonna take this one off just because I don't trade it. But this could be a good for longs. Let's take a look at it. Right off the bat, we see this right here. Support level. It already bounced up. The only thing possible retest, I would say, or not possible, I'd want a retest. But just like I always said, it's like look at all this. It's not good price action for me. I don't like the way it is. So I once again I don't like trading this. I probably wouldn't touch this. But if you'd want to trade this, then that's a perfect trade. So next, let's look at ARK. ARK, things didn't go our way. We set a short from this area. But pre-market basically did it for us. Or not really. Pre-market, it couldn't break below pre-market low. It ended up just shooting right back up, reclaiming this level. And look, it tested on this level, so now I would say it's good for longs. However, if we can't break above this level here, I would say we're still in for shorts. But it most likely will break that. Let's just take a look at the 4 hour. So yeah, it did a massive red candle. I mean a green candle, sorry. And yeah, this could possibly be what do you call it? Reversal. So I would say maybe um let's see, maybe I would say rejection from here. However, if it doesn't reject from there, maybe some type of retest, and this would probably be your dip buy. So yeah, dip buy here, um, exit at the red, or if it breaks above, long it. Just like what we've been saying, breaks above, long, breaks below, short. So just follow that. Keep it simple. Tesla. Oh my gosh, I can't spell today. Tesla. So if we were pretty much wrong on that chart, we're most likely going to be wrong. If we were wrong in that sector, we're probably going to be wrong in these stocks. Um, so we see Tesla. We did say rejection from here, and it actually did reject. So technically, we won this trade. So we made this red line on Thursday, and we said once it rejects from pre-market high, it's probably gonna go down, and I'd take it all the way down here, or pre-market low, just like right there. Pre-market low is right there, but I would probably take it there just because it's been bouncing on that area. And as you can see right here, if you take a look at my cursor mouse, it bounced on that area as well. So yeah, anyways, so we just kind of take a look at this intraday. We see it rejected from here, so we were right. So we just say here, 402. Take it all the way here to 393. That's a nice. What is that? $11 move. Yeah, that's a nice or $9 move. That's a nice move. Perfect move. And re-entry, look at that right there, rejected again, re-entry. Um, it didn't go all the way down, but it did go down. And not only that, if you did stay in it, or maybe you could have added right here in this position, or that's your entry right there. Take it all the way to pre-market low, or there, and then look, you're still a winner. So yeah, that one's good. But however, today it ended up breaking up well above, went up basically $20 or $21. So now maybe it could be the time for longs, as long as it can just hold above this green level. Um, so yeah, as long as it can hold above that green level, then we're in for longs. Um, I think what I'm gonna start doing now, I'm gonna start just kind of keeping it on the next day instead of having this whole entire bar. That way I can know where we left off. So that's one thing I'm gonna start doing now. Coinbase. Coinbase. Okay, so we said shorts, short on that. Let's see, where did we leave off at exactly? So we're Thursday. Okay, so I think we said possible test from this area, most likely. I don't know why it's in between all these candles though. Kind of forgot. But it did reject. Okay, so I really did forget. I don't know if I said. Okay, I think I said if it were to touch this level again, then I would get in. Um, so yeah, clearly it broke above and tested. So I would say now we can officially turn that green for longs. But only I would get in only if it touches this level again. And then where's TP? This white level right here. So let's change that to green. That's TP. Yeah, let's take profit right there. So once again, move that there. Yeah, move that there. So, yeah. All right. What's next? Roblox. Same thing. So we said short. Oh, and we got it perfect. Um, so we said on Thursday. Was this Thursday? Okay, yeah, I was. And this was a perfect trade. Wow, this was really good. Um, so we said right here, it's probably gonna touch this level, and it did touch it. It wicked it, and then it just instantly rejected. And so I would probably take it probably right there, to be honest. Um, or I would probably trail it all the way down there. So if I felt greedy and I didn't want to get out here, I'd want to take it down there. So there's that, and it looks like this is possibly the bounce area. So I would say maybe we can get a reversal in this level, but still, it's still very risky to go for longs just because there's not enough structure yet. Um, so yeah, technically, I probably wouldn't get in for longs just because there's a lot of selling pressure. So as of now, I'd wait this one out first. I'd wait until it makes some more structure. Um, shop. So Thursday we set a short, and it worked in our favor. So yeah, and this is why I like to say pre-market low, because it can price can bounce off pre-market low. So we said this right here could possibly reject. So what happened intraday? Rejected. So that's your entry, and then you take this all the way down to pre-market low. And boom, 142 from 147 to 142. So good move, and maybe let's say you got in on it again, or you missed this entry, so you got in from here. Um, you made it made a doji, so that was a nice, you know, nice signal. But however, this probably would have stopped you out just because, it didn't go back down here again. So that's why I said you're not always gonna catch everything. Sometimes the move can happen 5 times. Sometimes the move can only happen one time. In this case, it only happened one time. It rejected, went down once, and then rejected again. However, it didn't go all the way down. Instead, it made a higher high, or it made a high and then made a higher high later on. So and then however, it also made a bounce today from this level. So what does that tell me? This is now officially a bounce level. So now that it reclaimed it, it went up. I went up, and then as of now, I wouldn't enter on this. I wouldn't touch this. But now we can confirm that this green, once it comes back to this green level, I would say that is some sort of test um, for the upside. But as we can take a look at that white level, this was previous support or previous resistance, kind of. Yeah, so, and it looks like it's rejecting there. But once again, I wouldn't touch this unless it breaks above that and then test again. But I wouldn't touch that. Plantier. Okay, this is a nice one as well. Let's look intraday. Okay, Thursday. So Thursday we said, I believe, we wouldn't get in on this unless it touches this. Um, but however, it didn't get anywhere near that, but it did reject from pre-market high. So not only, I'm not sure if I made it clear for my other videos or on my other videos, but for stuff like this, where it makes a huge kind of like gap like that, it's most likely not gonna hit that level. Um, and if it does, it's possibly gonna reverse, just like how it did today. So as we can see here, um, we said the other day this is probably going to be a reject from here, and we can see it just blew well above it. um so if I didn't clarify it in my previous videos, you want to enter as well when there's a big gap. Usually I only do this when there's a huge gap. um you want to get it at the pre-market high or pre-market low if you're going for longs, pre-market high if you're going for um shorts. So we can see here I rejected multiple times. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Rejected from here, and then rejected here multiple times, and then intraday rejected. So it opened here, and then wicked there, that pre-market high, and then like I said, generally you want to take it into pre-market low. So 152, so 157 to 152, nice move. Congrats if you catch more than that. However, it did reverse, and then it rejected again, but it didn't go all the way back down. Instead, as you can see, it pulled back and then pulled back again, and now it looks like it's making higher highs. Now starting trending upwards. So as of now, I wouldn't enter on anything unless it reclaims this level. So, and to be honest, I can't really give out like a short or a long, just because nothing much has happened. If anything, it closed on this level, so possible upside. So maybe I would say this is probably good for longs, but at the same time, I wouldn't enter on this. Disney. So Disney, I believe we said from this level, it's possibly going to reject. It didn't really reject. I mean, this one, yeah. But it didn't hit it, so oh well. And then it started trading above. However, the next day, it ended up did rejecting it. So like I said, you're not gonna get them all. Sometimes it will happen the next day. Sometimes it'll happen a week later, 2 days later. So yeah, it ended up did rejecting off that. So this level still meant something. So yeah, there's that. I probably wouldn't get in on anything yet as of now, just because pre-market hasn't settled. But just to give you guys something, I would say this would be another short. Like how I said, follow the path. Let's just look at the 4 hour, just so we can see where we're at. So right here, there's a nice level. I probably wouldn't get in on this. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't get in on this. There's better names to go about. So yeah, I would say possible rejection there. But let's remove that level. So yeah, I would say possibly a short from there, depending how pre-market is. Pre-market is very important. Um, so yeah, here I think we said longs for cat. Or I probably wouldn't touch this. But look, this level still means something. Bounce, 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 lots of bounce. Okay, never mind. I see a red line, so we meant shorts. So yeah, so shorts did play in favor actually. So we see we didn't get in at the open, but right here, I would just say right here that's a nice level for short. Would I get it? Would I enter right there? Probably not. I'd probably want to enter up here or exactly on that red line. However, it's still the move still played out. So if we enter here, all the way from 550, and then take it to pre-market low, 544. That's a nice trade. All the way to 544. Um, now let's see what it is now. Now I probably wouldn't enter right there. Some resistance. Um, but still, I wouldn't enter this. So I wouldn't even say it's worth giving a breakdown. Lows. I'm not too sure what we said for lows. I think we just said break above long, break below is a short. Um, so Thursday. Okay. So it did break above. However, it doesn't look like it was really holding above. So it just rejected and then rejected below and then also closed below there as well. So maybe this could be a short. Once again, not worth trading it. But you can trade this. I would say yeah, this is possibly could possibly be good. I wouldn't say this is the worst trade or a very risky one. But I would say it's still right here at this demand level. So if it rejects, short it. So once again, anything below this level, short. Anything above, long. So no, next one, Home Depot. What did we say for Home Depot? Did we say a short for Home Depot? I don't know why it's red. This isn't a short. Sometimes I make mistakes too. Okay, I think I remember what we said. Okay, yeah. So this one, I was mixed on this one. So previously I said the whole market is bearish, so it's telling me bearish. It's most likely going to be bearish. However, um, this is a strong level. It's been holding this for years. So like how I said, it could possibly make something like this and then bounce up. And look, if you take a close look, it's doing exactly that. The only thing is that it didn't bounce as aggressively as it did. So maybe this could reject or maybe not. Once again, I wouldn't trade this yet, but anything above that, or actually no, just like what we said. Let's do the other one. This one. Anything above this level is a long. Anything below is a short. So let's just mark this down as green. So yeah. So it could make some type of base. It's already making a base, but it could continue to make some type of base in this area. So yeah. Let's look at target. Target. Okay, this one we got screwed on. So, this would have faked us. This would have faked us out. So we see here, price opened, and then it rejected from this, which tells me, okay, let's get in on this because this is probably going to be a short. However, it did go down just a little bit, but it just couldn't continue to break. It couldn't continue to fall. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning a lot. Couldn't continue to fall. And instead it broke above, and then now it's rejecting below it. So maybe same thing. Keep the levels the same. So I would say yeah, this would be good for a short just because it went up a ton, and then the next day, which was today, just rejected. It did a huge rejection from this level. So I would say this is going to be a short off the same exact level. Um, just depending on how pre-market is. So if pre-market decides to stay like this, I would say short. So yeah. I also got Walmart. I don't think we said anything for Walmart because I don't have any levels here. But let's look at this. Okay. So we're getting some type of bounce from this area. Let's make another level here just to make it easier for you guys. Right there. Um, Still too risky to say just because it bounced, but it's still trending downwards. So this could be good for longs. This could be good for shorts. In my opinion, Not worth to trade. PayPal. Whoops. PayPal. I don't think we said anything for this. I think we just said it's too risky to enter on this. But what I do see is a nice short. Right here. It's been rejecting off this level for a good while. So as we just kind of bring it back all the way, yeah, let's right here. So we bring it back all the way to right here, the bottom of this wick, all the way till now. It's been rejecting off that level, so I would say once it rejects from that level again, or once it touches that level again, it's most likely going to reject. And not only that, if we just take a look at intraday today, it couldn't even hold above pre-market low. It closed right on pre-market low and then just rejected right below. So I would say maybe right here could be good for some shorts as well. So the high of today. Um, so yeah, maybe that'll be a good level. Let's just draw it out just to have it there for you guys. Edits red, so rejection, and then take it to today's low. So from 60.38 to 59.85. So that would be my way of trading that. But I probably wouldn't touch it to be honest. Next one, XYZ, same thing. I don't think I'd touch this. Right here, that's a short, I would say. Um, yeah, right there, short, but at the same time, a little too risky. Probably wouldn't enter from there. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame. Yeah, I don't think I'd touch this to be honest. But if anything, maybe right there for short. There's some buying pressure right here, so yeah, I wouldn't touch that. There's better names that I had on here that were a lot better. Um, so we said on Thursday shorts from this level. However, it didn't go our way. Instead, it bounced from here. So, and not only that, it basically lost everything it recovered. So maybe shorts, maybe long. Still, same thing. I probably wouldn't touch it. I would say it's in no man's land as of now. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Um, Not much going on in the market yet. Um, just because we most of the moves already happened. Um, so yeah, I would say everything's kind of most of the tickers are in no man's land. So everything is a little bit of risk, a lot more riskier. And it could continue like this for the whole week. Just so yeah, that's my thoughts. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Not much else. Um, Moves already happened. Now we're just waiting for some type of pullbacks. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. So yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. All right, later guys.